Imagine this. You open your eyes in the morning, and instead of the sound of a school bus honking outside or the smell of breakfast coming from the kitchen, you're greeted by something far more surreal. Outside your window, Earth is hanging in the black ocean of space. A giant blue and white marble, slowly spinning, its clouds swirling like brushstrokes on a cosmic painting. And you're not on Earth anymore. You're in school, in space. The first bell doesn't ring on Earth's soil. It rings in orbit. Globe showing Europe, Africa, why schools in space? Before we step inside this space school, let's ask the question. Why would humanity even build schools beyond Earth? The reasons are not science fiction. They're rooted in the challenges we already face. Our world is crowded. Billions of people fighting for space, resources, and opportunities. The education systems of Earth are stretched thin. Overloaded classrooms, outdated resources, and inequality in who gets access to quality learning. Now, imagine a future where space colonization isn't just about rockets and astronauts. It's about kids, families, and entire generations. Colonies on the moon, habitats orbiting Earth, settlements on Mars. If humanity spreads across the stars, schools must follow. After all, learning doesn't stop just because we leave Earth. But there's another reason, one much bigger. Education shapes the future. If students grow up studying in orbit, surrounded by stars instead of skyscrapers, their minds will be shaped differently. They won't just learn science. They'll live it. They won't just read about the universe in books. They'll see it outside their classroom windows every single day. School, the design of a space school. So, what does a school in space actually look like? Forget the idea of red brick walls, playgrounds, or long hallways with lockers. A space school is a marvel of engineering, a hybrid of a spaceship and a futuristic campus. Picture a massive rotating cylinder, hundreds of meters long, floating in orbit around Earth. This rotation generates artificial gravity. Not quite as strong as Earth's, but enough to keep your feet on the floor and your pencils from floating away. The walls curve upward, so when you look down the hall, you don't see a flat horizon. You see the world bending upward, like you're standing inside a giant wheel. Classrooms are pods arranged along the cylinder's inner surface. They're filled with smart glass walls that can transform instantly. One moment they're transparent, revealing Earth below, and the next they become holographic screens displaying lessons. Instead of chalkboards or whiteboards, teachers use hollow boards, floating 3D displays where planets, molecules, and historical battles can be projected right in front of the students. Imagine a biology lesson where a giant 3D DNA helix floats between you and your classmates, and you can literally walk around it to see its details. And the playground? Forget swings and slides. Space schools have anti-gravity gyms. Rooms where gravity can be turned off, letting students play games while floating, or turned up to simulate training on Mars, where gravity is weaker than Earth's. Sports like basketball or soccer aren't just played, they're reinvented. Woman astronaut, a student's morning in orbit. Let's follow one student. Let's call her Aisha, on her first day at a space school. She wakes up in a dorm room the size of a small capsule. Above her bed, a digital screen shows her sleep data, heart rate, oxygen levels, and dreams logged by a neural scanner. She yawns, stretches, and looks out the round window by her bed. Outside is the most breathtaking sight imaginable. Earth rising over the horizon of the moon. Instead of an alarm clock, her bed vibrates gently, nudging her awake. The school AI, nicknamed Athena, speaks softly. "Good morning, Aisha. Today's breakfast menu is ready. You have 40 minutes before your first class." She floats toward the cafeteria because this part of the school has low gravity. Kids bump into each other midair, laughing as they push off the walls. Breakfast isn't pancakes or cereal. It's nutrient packs shaped into fun foods. Strawberry-flavored protein cubes, hydrated omelets sealed in packets. And yes, even chocolate, because no school would survive without it. But even eating is different. Liquids are kept in squeeze pouches because water doesn't pour in space. It floats. Imagine trying to drink orange juice and having glowing orange spheres drift away in front of you. After breakfast, Aisha straps on her magnetic shoes and heads to her first class. The hallways hum softly with the sound of life support systems pumping oxygen. On the walls, digital panels show updates. Oxygen levels, rotation speed of the habitat, and even Earth's weather below, because the students love checking in on what's happening back home. Books, the first class of the day. The school bell doesn't clang like on Earth. Instead, a soft chime echoes through the habitat. The first lesson begins. Physics in zero gravity. The teacher, Mr. Tanaka, floats in front of the class with a grin. All right, students, today we're not just studying Newton's laws. We're living them. He lets go of the desk he's holding and drifts backward, slowly spinning. The students laugh, but they know this is serious learning. On Earth, Newton's first law, the idea that an object in motion stays in motion, is just something you read in a textbook. But here in orbit, you can push yourself once and glide across the entire classroom until you hit the wall. The physics isn't theory, it's reality. He tosses a ball to Aisha. It doesn't fall to the ground, it floats. She nudges it, and it keeps going until another student grabs it. This is how space changes learning. Every subject becomes alive. Even math is different. The holographic board projects a 3D graph, and students use hand gestures to rotate it, zoom in, and even walk through the data points like explorers in a mathematical jungle. Fearful face the emotional side. But let's not forget, being in space isn't all excitement. For some kids, it's terrifying. The endless black void outside their windows is a constant reminder of how small and fragile they are. Some students can't sleep at first because they feel like they might just drift away into the stars. Others miss the smell of rain, the sound of birds, or even just the feel of grass under their feet. The school tries to help. Artificial parks inside the habitat simulate Earth. They use holograms of forests, rivers, and animals to calm the students. The walls release scents, pine, fresh rain, even flowers. But everyone knows it's not quite the same. Aisha, staring out the window, whispers to her friend, "Do you think we'll ever go back to Earth?" Her friend shrugs. "Maybe. Or maybe we'll go even further." That's the strange balance of space schools. They're a dream and a sacrifice. High voltage, the first bell ends. As the day goes on, Aisha and her classmates explore lessons Earth could never offer. They run experiments in biology labs where plants grow under artificial light but struggle without gravity. They attend history class where the holographic teacher projects the pyramids of Egypt and then points out the actual Nile River below them on Earth. Finally, the day ends. Instead of a sunset, the students watch as Earth slips into night, city lights glowing like tiny sparks in the dark. The habitat dims its lights, simulating evening, and Aisha returns to her capsule bed. She records a message for her parents back on Earth. "Today, I floated in class. I saw the whole world at once, and I learned what it means to live where the sky never ends. I think space feels like home." The screen flickers off. Outside, Earth continues to turn, and the first day of space school comes to an end. When you think of school, you probably imagine something ordinary: morning assemblies, noisy hallways, friends laughing in the cafeteria. But in a school built among the stars, ordinary takes on a whole new meaning. Life as a student in space isn't just about learning. It's about surviving, adapting, and experiencing the universe in ways no child on Earth ever could. So let's step deeper into the life of a space student. Cooking breakfast in orbit. The day begins in the cafeteria dome, a huge glass bubble giving students a view of Earth while they eat. Imagine sitting at a long table, fork in hand, and beyond your plate, the world spins silently below. Africa glowing in the morning sun, storms twisting over the Atlantic, cities sparkling like constellations on the night side. But food in space isn't like food on Earth. Chefs in orbit don't cook with stoves and pans. The danger of open flame in a pressurized habitat is too high. Instead, everything is carefully prepared: freeze-dried packets, rehydrated meals, nutrient cubes shaped like familiar dishes. Aisha squeezes a pouch of blueberry oatmeal. The moment she lets go, the oatmeal doesn't drip. It clings to the spoon like jelly. She pops it into her mouth, laughing at how sticky it feels. Around her, classmates joke as juice spheres float away, students chasing them like golden bubbles. Breakfast isn't just eating, it's an adventure. 9 o'clock, the daily schedule. After breakfast, the students head to their lockers. But lockers here don't hold books. They hold personal tablets, oxygen emergency kits, and magnetic boots. The school day is divided into cycles, adjusted to Earth time zones. Since the habitat orbits Earth once every 90 minutes, students would see 16 sunrises and sunsets every day. To avoid chaos, the school runs on a controlled Earth rhythm of 24 hours, using artificial light to mimic day and night. The daily schedule looks like this. 8 a.m. Physics and science, hands-on zero-gravity experiments. 10 a.m. Language and history, Earth studies and interplanetary communication. 12 p.m. Lunch in orbit. 1 p.m. Physical education, anti-gravity gym or Mars gravity simulation. 3 p.m. Math and technology, AI-assisted learning, coding, robotics. 5 p.m. Electives, art, music, astronomy with telescopes. 7 p.m. Free time, games, or Earth calls with family. It sounds normal until you remember every class takes place in orbit, with the cosmos staring in through the windows. Test tube classes that Earth can't offer. On Earth, science experiments are limited by gravity. In space, the classroom itself becomes the lab. In chemistry, students release colored droplets of liquid into the air. Instead of mixing in beakers, the droplets collide midair, creating glowing spheres that merge and split. Teachers explain how surface tension behaves differently without gravity. Students don't just watch, they float alongside their experiments. In biology, greenhouses filled with strange-looking plants line the habitat. Some grow twisted because gravity no longer pulls their roots downward. Aisha touches a leaf and whispers, "It feels like paper." The lesson isn't about memorizing plant structures. It's about learning how humanity will grow food on Mars or distant exoplanets. In astronomy, the teacher simply points to the window. No telescope required. Earth's curve is visible. The Milky Way arcs across the sky, and satellites drift silently in the distance. Instead of looking up at the stars, students look out at them as equals. Physical education in zero-G. Gym class in space is the most radical change of all. Forget running laps or lifting weights. Here, PE is a battle against zero gravity. The gym is a rotating ring inside the habitat. One moment, the teacher can reduce gravity to moon level, and students bounce 3 times higher than normal. The next moment, the setting changes to Mars. The students launch themselves into the air, spinning slowly, laughing as they collide with padded walls. Games like orbital dodgeball or space tag replace basketball and soccer. Instead of chasing a ball across the floor, they chase glowing orbs drifting slowly in midair, using their momentum to push off walls and corners. But it's not just fun. Every gym session builds muscle and bone strength. In space, humans lose density quickly because gravity isn't pulling them down. Without exercise, space kids would grow weak. So, sports are survival. Aisha finishes gym breathless, laughing with her friends, but she feels the burn. Her muscles ache. PE in space is way harder than Earth, she says. Her friend grins, but way cooler too. Musical notes: art, music, and human spirit. What about creativity? Do art and music survive in space? Yes, but they transform. In the art room, brushes and paints aren't used much. Too messy. Instead, students paint with holograms. They swipe glowing trails into the air, creating floating 3D paintings that spin like galaxies. Aisha paints a swirl of stars with Earth at the center, then zooms her hologram outward until her entire painting looks like a new universe. Music also changes. Without proper air pressure, instruments don't sound the same. Violins sound sharper, drums feel hollow, and flutes produce strange tones. But the students adapt. They create electronic space instruments that use vibrations and holographic resonance. In one class, a group of kids play a concert while floating, instruments spinning beside them. Their song echoes through the school, a mix of Earth tradition and cosmic innovation. Art in space is not just expression, it's survival for the soul. It reminds students they are still human, even while surrounded by endless stars. Social life among the stars. School isn't only about classes. It's about friendships, laughter, secrets whispered at lunch. In orbit, social life is both familiar and strange. Students gather in the observation dome after class, gazing at Earth. They play games on their tablets, share music, or compete in zero-gravity races. Social media still exists, but it's different. Messages take longer to reach Earth, and sometimes videos lag. When Aisha sends her mother a clip of the view, her mom responds minutes later, amazed. But space also creates new problems. Students can't just walk home or hang out in parks. Their world is limited to the habitat. Fights can feel heavier, friendships more fragile, because you can't avoid someone when you're living in the same rotating school. There's also space homesickness. Some kids cry quietly at night, missing rain, missing the smell of dirt, missing the noise of city streets. Teachers and counselors work hard to help. Holographic Earth rooms simulate real environments, forests, beaches, mountains, to comfort them. But deep down, the kids know it's not real. This emotional struggle is part of space education. Teaches resilience, but it also reminds everyone of Earth's importance. Fork and knife with plate dinner and free time. As the school day ends, students gather again in the cafeteria dome. Dinner might be pasta cubes, freeze-dried curry, or algae-based burgers grown in the habitat. Sounds strange, but hunger makes everything taste good. After dinner, free time begins. Some kids practice space sports. Others join VR clubs, diving into simulated adventures. Some just float in the dome, staring at the stars in silence. Aisha records another message for her parents. Today I grew plants that have never touched Earth. I played basketball without gravity. I painted a galaxy in the air. Sometimes I miss home, but I feel like I'm part of something bigger. Maybe this is how the future starts.